Now at 5, we are tracking more snow, which is going to roll into the region. We're going to have those details.
Plus, how a proposed tax reform bill in Kansas could save residents $1 billion over 3 years. And the group in Quapaw has a fundraising campaign to save the girls' weight room.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Roads are wet across the area and already slick in some places. Although traffic is not having much problem at the moment, that could change. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Winter is finally setting in with the possibility of more snow coming. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Yeah, a lot of us picked up snow and sleet, especially during the morning hours, and we had some slushy spots on the roadways, but the farther north you live, a little bit more snow. Outside right now, most of us have transitioned over to rain, and we're actually going to transition over to drizzle a little bit later on tonight. But you can see all the roads around the region are wet, so even though they're wet, still be careful. Temperatures well above freezing, 35 in Nevada, 40 in Neosho, Miami at 43. It's 39 in Chanute. And we do have a winter weather advisory in effect. This starts late tonight, goes into tomorrow evening. And this is going to be for rounds of snow instead of rain that we're going to see on the backside of the storm system. You can see the calm ahead. So actually it looks like a comma. It's this part of the storm system, the backside, which is going to rotate through later on tonight. All the persistent rain is pretty much out of here, but we are going to have the drizzle as we go through the overnight hours. All right, light rain, I-49 north. We can track a little farther south. We still have light showers on the south side of the metro. So again, be careful if you're going to be out this evening. We're going to talk more about snow here in just a bit.
Catch you soon. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today partnered with a bipartisan group of 24 state lawmakers to announce a tax reform bill. The proposal would immediately eliminate the state sales tax on groceries rather than waiting until 2025. The state's tax on Social Security benefits would also be eliminated. It would also create a 4-day back-to-school sales tax holiday every August and increase standard deductions for state income taxes. It would last for 3 years and is projected to save Kansans $1 billion. Quapaw Public Schools are trying to stay ahead of their growth through a bond that approved additional seating in the gym, but at the cost of the girls' weight room. The weight room is set to close in 2 months after the last basketball game. Due to the lack of resources for the sports program, the community boosters came up with a plan.
We reached out to them and said, hey, we think that we can raise enough money to build a building to house not only a weight room, but possibly a locker room for the girls softball team, because we lack that also.
The next fundraiser is the Dancing with the Stars competition. That's going to be on February 10th. The Iowa caucuses are just 1 week from tonight, but there isn't the typical buzz of campaign activity you would normally see 1 week out. Reporter Skylar Henry has details.
Snow and bad weather moving into Iowa prompted Nikki Haley to cancel the one campaign event in Iowa that she'd planned for Monday.
The next president of the United States, Vivek Ramaswamy.
That left Vivek Ramaswamy and Asa Hutchinson as the only Republican presidential candidates campaigning in the Hawkeye state, with just 1 week to go before the caucuses.
You know, the other candidates, they don't have nearly the number of events we do. We're having a ton of turnout, and it's been going on for a while.
Trump sent out a fundraiser claiming he's being forced off the campaign trail to attend court sessions, but he is not required to attend the hearings. Trump was in Iowa over the weekend with rallies in Newton and Clinton. He called on Joe Biden to release everyone in jail for the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
I call them hostages. Some people call them prisoners. I call them hostages. Release the J6 hostages, Joe.
Do you think that this primary caucus season will be hinged to January 6th in any way? Or
Rachel Payne Caulfield, the co-chair of the political science department at Drake University, says at this point, any narrative tied to January 6th appears to be helping Trump.
As indictments started to come down, I think what it really did is it actually provided kind of a loyalty test to his supporters, right? And so it made more people rally around him and say, nope, we really want to protect this guy.
In anticipation of a general election rematch, President Biden also invoked January 6th in a campaign speech last week, calling Trump's candidacy a threat to democracy. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Biden held another campaign event in South Carolina today, speaking at the Charleston Church, where a white supremacist killed 9 churchgoers back in 2015. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is said to be recovering well and in good spirits after he was hospitalized. The Pentagon says Austin had an elective medical procedure on December 22nd. Then on New Year's Day, Austin started experiencing severe pain and was admitted to the ICU. The next day, Austin transferred certain operational duties to his deputy, Kathleen Hicks, but she was not informed of his hospitalization until January 4th. The Pentagon says it's reviewing its notification processes to see if they were followed. Still ahead, a nationwide plea for help.
The Red Cross has declared a national emergency blood shortage. I'm Natalie Brand with a look at what this could mean for patients who need life-saving transfusions.
Plus, how donating blood could score you 2 tickets to this year's Super Bowl. Topping today's Health Watch, the Red Cross says the blood supply is at such critically low levels, they're declaring a nationwide emergency, meaning patients are at a risk of not getting life-saving transfusions. Natalie Brand gives us a look at the impact blood donors can make.
Jack Malandrino and his twin sister were born months premature, weighing around 2 pounds and facing serious health complications.
His heart would stop and he would stop breathing routinely, and it was just terrifying.
Mom Susan Malandrino says a blood transfusion helped kickstart Jack's recovery. He's now a healthy, thriving 12-year-old.
That saved my life, which I wouldn't be here today.
Donors are needed now more than ever as the Red Cross is facing an emergency blood shortage. The number of donors is at a 20-year low, with a loss of 300,000 donors since the COVID-19 pandemic.
It means that hospitals will order a certain number of units of blood, and those orders are not being filled fully. So hospital blood banks are low on blood.
Dr. Eric Gary, medical director of the American Red Cross, says emptier shelves could force hospitals to make excruciating decisions.
Doctors have to make choices about which patients can receive a transfusion in a given day. Surgeries like heart surgeries can be delayed waiting for the available blood to be collected and sent to the hospital.
At this Red Cross donation center in Washington, D.C., donors who give regularly say the shortage should be a call to action.
People need to realize it's not that hard, it's not that much time.
Every drop of blood matters.
And what did that blood transfusion mean to your family?
It meant everything. It meant the world.
Life is so precious.
And Jack plans to donate when he's old enough so he can pay it forward. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
The Red Cross supplies about 40% of the blood for the United States and says while all types of blood donations are needed, type O and platelets are most urgently needed. If you do decide to give blood, you could get a pretty sweet reward. By donating this month at an eligible American Red Cross facility, you will automatically be entered for a chance to win a pair of Super Bowl tickets. It'll also include round-trip airfare to Las Vegas, in-stadium activities, hotel accommodations, and a $1,000 gift card for expenses. You can find more information on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. A new study finds even a modest increase in out-of-pocket costs for HIV prevention medications could jeopardize progress to slow HIV infections in the U.S. PrEP medications are highly effective at preventing the virus and are currently free under almost all health insurance plans. Researchers from UPenn and Johns Hopkins found raising the cost to just $10 would double the rate of prescriptions going unfilled, eventually leading to a rise in new infections. And some common misconceptions about weight loss surgery are keeping some eligible people from taking the step. That's according to a national survey by Orlando Health, which found almost 60% of Americans think bariatric surgery is a shortcut to losing weight, and about 80% believe it should be a last resort. Doctors stress weight loss surgery is just one tool to fight obesity. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, an incident on an Alaskan Airlines flight caused dozens of Boeing jets to be grounded this morning.
Plus, we got a band of snow that is going to roll in later on tonight. Details coming up. Well, of course, we've had the rain, we've had the snow, sleet throughout the daytime hours for us today. The areas that did get some snow and sleet, we did have some slick spots across the region, but once our temperatures warmed up a little bit this afternoon, most of us have transitioned over to rain. Now we're going to transition just over to mainly drizzles. We'll go through the overnight hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky, Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, rainfall, pretty good amounts, almost an inch. That's where we are for the month. So we're actually above average for this time of the year, something we haven't seen in quite some time. Winter weather advisory goes in effect later on tonight. So parts of Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, it does not include northeastern Oklahoma. That's going to be the region that the snowfall is a little bit lighter. But look at the rain. Really in this green chunk, everybody near an inch of rain, something we greatly needed. And we're going to get a little bit more of it as we go through the overnight hours. All right, heaviest rain now pushing off toward the east. Of course, where you see the yellows, that is a moderate rain. Then you got all snow, Kansas City, all the way back into western parts of Kansas. Just some light drizzle now across southeastern Kansas. We do still have some snow from Lamar, Nevada, Stockton, and then it's all rain once you get into southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, and then starting to taper off a bit once you get into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But look at this big storm system, big upper level low. You can see the twist right across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, and this is going to track right on top of us. Then we get into the calm ahead or the backside of the storm system, and that's what's going to give us a little bit of snow later on tonight. All right, let's go through the evening. Here's 9:30. Most of us drizzle at this point in time. By 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, here's our band of light snow developing. So Yates Center, Fredonia, Parsons, Fort Scott. Also notice the temperatures. They start to drop as this snow works in. So it is going to stick on the roadways. Here's 5:30 in the morning, and the darker blue is light to moderate snow. Band of light to moderate snow pushes through. Temperatures drop below freezing through the morning hours. Here's 10 a.m. Snow tapering in our western counties. Still light snow, southwestern Missouri. And then most of this will start to track out of here early afternoon. Then we're going to have the clouds sticking around. The rest of the day will start to clear out a little bit for us tomorrow night. How much snow can we get? Still our northern counties where you are picking up some snow right now. 2 to 4 total from this whole storm. Pittsburgh, 1, maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches. Joplin, 1, maybe a little bit more. And then south of that, just a dusting upwards to an inch. Here's our impacts. We're going to say snow impact is kind of in that medium moderate range because we are going to have some slippery spots on the roadways. Ice isn't an issue. It's kind of cold, but the winds are going to be gusting near 40 miles per hour for us tomorrow. So that's obviously going to be a big impact, and it makes it colder or feel colder than what it actually is. Tomorrow's an alert day due to the snow. Right back to 47 Wednesday, possible alert day Friday, snow on Sunday, and our first Arctic blast moving in. Look at our overnight low next Monday night, 2 degrees.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's too cold.
It is too cold.
See if you can add another digit to that, please, sir.
I'll try to make it a 12.
Or at least an 11. Thanks, Doug. America's return to the moon might take a little longer than expected. Privately owned Astrobotic Technology confirms its spacecraft that blasted off of the moon early this morning has developed a fuel leak. With power dwindling, flight controllers are struggling to keep solar panels aligned with the sun to recharge the batteries. The lunar lander successfully separated from the rocket after launch, but 7 hours into the mission, the problems were revealed.
It does not appear they're going to be able to land on the moon. We don't know that for sure yet, but it doesn't appear a moon landing is in the cards. And they're looking at alternate mission scenarios if they have enough fuel to carry them out.
The Peregrine lander had been scheduled to make a soft landing on the moon on February 23rd. Astrobotic's contract with NASA for the lunar lander was $108 million. Coming up, artificial intelligence takes center stage at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. We're going to check out the new tech. Topping today's Consumer Watch, dozens of Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets were grounded this morning following a terrifying Alaska Airlines incident. An entire section of fuselage came off a jet as it left Portland, Oregon on Friday. No one was seriously hurt, but officials say the force was so great it pulled a passenger's shirt off their body. The National Transportation Safety Board has opened an investigation focused on the paneled over exit door that blew off. Some good news. Americans' attitudes about inflation have improved. In fact, they haven't felt this good about it in 3 years. And that's according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's December survey of consumer expectations report. Survey tracked median inflation expectations 1, 3, and 5 years ahead. All 3 periods showed declines. The massive tech show CES officially opens in Las Vegas tomorrow, and artificial intelligence is taking center stage. Reporter Jessica Naziri got a sneak peek at some of the new technology.
This robot from Enchanted Tools uses artificial intelligence to adapt and learn. The company is building the smart machines to work in hospitals and perform tasks like making deliveries. The robot also has unique expressions to interact with human workers.
It was important for us to create a character more than a robot because we think we can bring more than, technology can be more than useful, you know? We can bring also smile.
The robot is just one of hundreds of products at CES featuring AI, including this robotic exoskeleton that claims to help people run or walk faster, or a bird feeder that can tell you the species of the feathered friend flying in for a snack.
Companies around the world poured billions of dollars into AI projects this past year. The head of the Consumer Electronics Association says technology is improving rapidly.
AI will learn about us as individuals and become our own personal assistants, knowing what we want, knowing what we like.
That includes how we like our food. This AI grill can heat up to 1,600 degrees, cooking meat at lightning speeds.
In about 90 seconds, you'll get the best, most juiciest food you've ever tasted.
And Samsung is using AI to upgrade the TV viewing experience.
With AI, you can now watch any pre-recorded content, and it upscales in a whole new way so that what you end up watching is 8K no matter what.
Meaning old video can now be seen clearer than ever. Jessica Naziri for CBS News, Las Vegas.
A final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, an in-depth look at the border crisis and the surprising details about those looking for asylum. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on that fundraising campaign to save a girls' weight room in Quapaw, Oklahoma. Plus, why a program in Springfield handing out free food is closing down. And Pitt State football now has a complete coaching staff. We're going to learn about the 2 newest hires. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. A Carthage woman and Chiefs superfan celebrated a big milestone. Helen Hubbard today turned 104 years old. Family and friends from the community came out to celebrate with her on this special day. That celebration included music, a customized Chiefs cake, and some life advice.
An attitude makes a big difference in your life. I just grew up thinking life was great all the time. I have ups and downs, but they can't rule your life.
We've done a few stories with Helen in the past, you might recall. You can check them out on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And Doug Heddy, I know you'll remember a few years ago when we shot a Super Bowl promo with Helen. And kind of a set up little Super Bowl party, and Helen showed up, and it was great. She's a wonderful woman, and we wish her a happy birthday.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that again this year. Another Super Bowl party.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
And the year after this, and the year after this, and the year
Absolutely.
after that. On the weather.
All right, we're going to have mainly drizzle sticking around throughout the evening hours, but after about 3 o'clock in the morning, we'll start to get some light snow popping up, so it should be snowing when you get up in the morning. Alert day tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.